Parrot. The jungle would still be beautiful without parrots, but it would not sound the same. Their bright feathers catch your attention for a moment. Then their voices take over. They mimic the sounds around them, blending familiar noises into the dense forest until it feels like the jungle is constantly talking back. It is a small feature, but one that quietly transforms the atmosphere. There is something genuinely playful about the way they exist. They are not defined by combat or survival mechanics, yet they leave a lasting impression simply by making the world feel livelier. The jungle already feels untamed, and parrots give it a little more personality, filling empty moments with movement, color, and unexpected sounds that make the biome feel lived in. Phantom. Few creatures in Minecraft are tied so closely to the player's own behavior. The phantom only appears after too many sleepless nights, turning a simple decision to ignore your bed into a problem that eventually finds you. It arrives from the sky without warning, diving in and out of the darkness until even familiar places start to feel uncomfortable. That design gives the mob a different kind of importance. Most hostile creatures appear because of where you are, but the phantom appears because of what you have chosen to do. It quietly encourages balance between exploration and rest, making time itself part of survival. Whether players enjoy fighting it or not, it remains one of the clearest examples of a mob built around habits instead of location. Pig. The pig has always represented the simplest side of survival. It asks for very little attention, yet it provides something every new world needs: a dependable source of food. Long before automated farms or complicated resource systems, pigs were often one of the first animals players learned to rely on. That simplicity is exactly why the mob has remained so recognizable. It does not need unusual abilities or rare mechanics to earn its place. Sometimes consistency matters more than complexity, and the pig proves that by quietly supporting players from their very first days in a world. Piglin. The Piglin changed how the Nether feels almost overnight. Instead of filling the dimension with nothing but hostile creatures, it introduced something closer to a society. Piglins recognize gold, react to it, and treat it as something valuable, giving the Nether its own unwritten rules that players slowly learn through experience. That balance between danger and cooperation is what makes them so memorable. They can attack without hesitation if provoked, yet they are also willing to trade, creating moments where survival depends on understanding behavior instead of simply swinging a sword. It gives the Nether a sense of culture that few other hostile environments manage to achieve. Piglin Brute. If regular piglins represent negotiation, the Piglin Brute represents certainty. It has no interest in gold, no interest in trading, and no patience for intruders. From the moment you encounter one, its purpose is unmistakable. It exists to guard what matters and to remove anything that does not belong. That straightforward role gives it remarkable presence. Bastions already feel ancient and dangerous, but the appearance of a Piglin Brute changes the atmosphere immediately. It reminds players that some places are not meant to be entered casually, and that not every threat in the Nether can be solved with diplomacy. Pillager. The Pillager brings organization to hostility. Rather than wandering aimlessly, these enemies patrol the world, travel together, and launch coordinated attacks against villages. Their use of crossbows changes combat immediately, forcing players to think about positioning instead of relying on simple close-range fights. Raids would not feel nearly as memorable without them. Their presence creates the sense that villages are facing an intelligent enemy rather than random monsters arriving by chance. That feeling of coordination gives each raid a stronger identity, turning village defense into one of Minecraft's most satisfying survival challenges. Polar Bear. The polar bear gives frozen landscapes a sense of authenticity that would be difficult to create otherwise. Standing against endless snow and ice, it feels perfectly at home, adding life to places that might otherwise seem empty. Most of the time, it keeps to itself, moving calmly through an environment built for endurance. Everything changes when cubs are nearby. A peaceful animal suddenly becomes fiercely protective, reflecting behavior that feels surprisingly natural. That small detail makes snowy biomes feel less like scenery and more like functioning ecosystems where animals have instincts worth respecting. Pufferfish. The pufferfish is easy to underestimate until it reacts. One careless approach is enough for it to expand into its defensive form, warning everything nearby to keep its distance. It is not aggressive by nature, but it knows exactly how to protect itself when threatened. That behavior gives the oceans another layer of character. Instead of teaching players that every danger comes from direct attacks, it introduces the idea that some creatures simply defend themselves. The pufferfish is tiny compared to many ocean mobs, yet its unusual biology makes it one of the easiest to remember. Rabbit. Rabbits bring quiet energy to the landscape. They dart through fields, forests, deserts, and snowy ground with quick, unpredictable movements that make the world feel less still. You rarely build an adventure around finding one, but noticing them always adds something to the environment. Their importance comes from atmosphere more than mechanics. They remind you that not every creature exists to challenge or assist the player. Some simply exist because a living world needs small moments of ordinary life, and rabbits provide exactly that with every cautious hop across the terrain. Ravager. The Ravager changes the entire mood of a raid the moment it appears. Towering over nearly everything around it, it charges forward with incredible force, tearing through defenses and forcing players to react quickly. It feels less like another hostile mob and more like a siege weapon brought to life. That overwhelming physical presence is what makes it unforgettable. Villages no longer feel threatened by scattered enemies. They feel under attack by a force capable of breaking through almost anything in its path. Among Minecraft's hostile creatures, very few command attention as naturally as the Ravager, whose sheer size and relentless aggression turn every raid into a battle worth remembering.